Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today's episode 171. 171, exactly, of arriving back from Bali. And as many of you who've been following me quite some time already know that I have a big thing with this 171, 177, 777, but 171 or 17 has been a very big number for a very long time with me. And wherever I look at, it's there. And it's a funny fact that right as we ended our Bali retreat and I sat in a car to go to the Temple of Chi, there was something so significant that I'm going to talk about it at the end of the podcast. Because at the end of the podcast, I will talk a little bit about myself, the journey that we had in Bali, things that happened in Bali. So because maybe some of you are not so interested of hearing my perspective, my story, my journey. So I leave that at the end of the podcast. But if you have been missing my podcasts, and if you're new here and you find that I really happy you're back, or sad that you're back, or angry that you're back, maybe you leave a little 171 in the comments just to let me know that you're here, because your presence matters a lot to me. Well, today we're going to talk about, does the inner journey really matters on the twin flame? And I'm going to bring in some very deep examples. Our beautiful twin flame journey souls just had an incredible retreat here or there in Bali. And I'm very grateful for the Bali, for the land of gods that invited all of us, 18 souls and me, to experience something so incredible that I cannot even describe it today. And I have said that many times on my podcast and within myself, that Mahashivaratri is extremely powerful, and I feel that is carrying the code for the twin flames to understand the deeper layer, to connect with that. And this time we were invited to Bali to celebrate this, to get to know who we truly are. And one beauty about Bali is that you cannot hide. You cannot hide that is unresolved or that is hidden in your inner journey. And that's why a lot of things also happen there. I would say, I have always tears and gratitude in my heart of saying how thankful and how grateful I am that I have the opportunity to meet all of you. That you travel across the world to come, to sit down, to meditate, to chant, to practice, to feel the energy of Kundalini, and then create something magical. Each one of you are absolutely so special in my heart that it's difficult to explain. And I am very grateful that I have had this experience again. I know many of you have sent me requests, and if I haven't got back to you, I will do this week. But Italy retreat, we have it end of June. I am just going to say that it's most probably the only time when we do an extra retreat in a year. So Italy is in that sense a most special retreat, in that sense that I don't know if I will ever do this again, but I know that I always will celebrate Mahashivaratri and the 11/11 portal. But Italy, I don't know why it comes up, and I don't know who is going to be there. But if you are interested of coming, or you have sent an email and you haven't received the confirmation yet, just let me know as soon as possible. I think we are 15 souls at the moment, men and women this time. So men, you are more than welcome to join as well. Don't be afraid. Anyways, talking of all of these retreats, I would also talk about the inner journey. Does the inner journey really matter? And looking at the world at this moment, what is happening in the world, inner journey is what matters the most. And we can think of this twin flame journey that this is a journey of you being in a couple with your counterpart and having the life and the romanticized. You can have all of that. I'm never going to say you cannot. But if our inner world is messy, the world becomes messy. Another day I just one of the things that my soul said to me, and I wrote this down, was a saying that war is what happens when individuals avoid inner war. And many of people have come to me and asked me why this is happening in the world, what is happening right now. And I always say, this is like an ego death. Before something new can rise, before it's going to be different, there's going to be collapse. And that's why awakening and inner work is not something like a popular word or something like, oh, I'm awakening, I am so... I tell you that awakening is one of the most brutal things, because all of a sudden the whole way you were trying to control your life, you were trying to control who you are, you were trying to control the love, is gonna break apart. And that's why the inner work, unfortunately or fortunately, is a must on a twin flame journey. And I will explain about it, why it is a must as well. And I'm not going to give you like this fairy tale kind of a replies and answers. One of the things with my podcast has always been that I prefer to speak the truth. And the truth might not be the same truth in a couple of years, or you might disagree and this might not be your truth. But one of the things I will not go down is to tell you something that, how would I say, will keep you in a hook, or will give you a dopamine, or will give you that, yes, 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 I know. I will tell you what it is and why it is so important. You can agree or disagree. That is your journey. But I find it's important sometimes to understand that you cannot escape the inner journey. And sometimes it feels, when I asked myself also on this journey, that why do I have to feel this way? Why do I have to get so much pain? Why is it so hard? And now we were in Bali as well. What was so beautiful to see that there is something more powerful in place. And I've always said that this podcast is not me. The retreats is not me. Don't say that, oh, B, you did amazing job. I don't know who did it, or who makes this podcast. And it sounds like I'm an absolute lunatic right now, telling you I don't know who it is. But what I mean is there is something more powerful. And when we align with this power, we are in a flow state. And I have always said, many of you, the same thing. And we are extremely afraid when we are on this journey that if I lose control, I will not have the outcome I imagined or I wanted. And I know, in the beginning when I came to this journey, my only goal was that my twin would contact me back. I could care less about the inner work. But I was very grateful and thankful for a guy, many of you know him from YouTube, who kept on repeating over and over again that you need to go within. You need to go within. And as it was so much on a repeat, I started to go within. And was it painful? Absolutely. And I've said that before on my podcast, but when you're listening to me now, or when you see me now, you will think, oh, that's how I was, because you haven't seen the version of me when I was absolutely in pieces. Sometimes when I see all of you, I see, wow, you are so much more brave and powerful. You can express and say things. I couldn't say a single word. I was just a shadow walking around and trying to pretend that I am all right. And that's why I have a lot of respect and love towards many of you who can open up and say, I miss my twin, I feel my twin, I even want to be with my twin. Just because of We have a little bit stigma around this as well, that when we say, I miss my twin or I want to be with my twin, that this is the wrong thing. No, you are a human and you're going to feel. But the inner work on Twin Flame Journey is something that nobody can outsource, romanticize, or bypass. You cannot outsource the inner journey. Nobody else will do the inner journey. Your twin will not do the inner journey for you. Your mother or father or friends or job will not do the inner journey for you. It's only you. And why do I say that so strongly? There is this magic. When you connect in the inner world within you, you become a magnet. And when you are a magnet, you attract everything that you're supposed to. Now, of course, many of you can listen to me and think about it, but wait a minute. I have been meditating for this years. I have been doing this and I don't see the results. But let me pause you here for a moment. Don't you really see the results? Don't you? Have you started to notice the little miracles that are around you every day? Let's say you found a new friend who is now your soulmate and is helping you to live and experience this world. Or let's say you have received some unexpected money or gifts or compliments that you haven't received for years when you were living on an autopilot. Or have you got the chance to do something that you were dreaming of doing and you never did? Let's not skip the magic that universe is giving to us while we are also in pain. Don't think about it when you have, let's say, meditated now or connected from your heart that nothing hasn't happened. Don't say that. A lot has happened. And today I would also invite you to sit down and think, but wait a minute. What has actually happened within me? One of the beautiful things with Bali retreat was as well, like as we had in Cyprus, I had a chance to meet people who I met a year ago in Costa Rica, 2 years ago in Cyprus, and oh boy, how much they have changed. And they have becoming this flower who is blooming and blossoming, but they don't quit the inner work. And inner work is not something about healing. I never say about healing. For me, inner work is connecting to your heart. I don't go to my Reiki master or Kundalini or breath work or sound healing because I need to heal. I don't do these things because I need to heal. I do these things because I connect to the source. I am a human. I'm going to make mistakes. I don't always have the answers. I don't know how the life is going to be. I'm not a good or bad person. I am just a human. I'm just a human who is having a human experience. And I'm going to make mistakes. I'm far away from perfect. Do I have all the answers? No, not at all. But connecting through these modalities have helped me to connect to the divine. When I was just now in Bali, what was so beautiful again to witness, like I said, Bali doesn't let you to hide what you try to hide. It will reveal everything. That's why also we had people who got very sick during the time because of the system was, it's time to clear. Bali does not let you to fool anybody because there is so much beauty. I could talk hours about Bali and maybe most probably we'll make a couple of episodes about it. But what I'm trying to tell you over here is that inner work is same way like you are brushing your teeth or you're taking a shower. Because of, I've said that many times about Kundalini activation. When I went for a training as well and I asked, how long does it normally last? And the instructors were telling to me, in about 21 days you are in this high state or state where you can manifest, you can be very strong, and then it can slowly go down, but then you top up again. And that's and I've always said on this journey that if you can take care of your energy, whichever way, with a deeper meditation, let's say going to the grounding on the nature, just connect. Because actually what your soul is asking is connection. So as I said, that the inner work on a twin flame journey is something that no one can outsource, romanticize, or bypass. You cannot. And whether you like it or you don't like it. and so somehow lift up your hands and go, all right, I cannot do anything about it. I'm going to dive deeper. 2026, I'm diving deeper on my inner journey. Because it's the alchemy that happens inside of you when the universe, or you as a universe, uses another human being who is a mirror so clear that it becomes almost unbearable for you. You know, you see the strongest mirror. We call twin flame your mirror. There was this other day a very interesting. We just came back, and me and my daughter are in the car, and my daughter is just out of nowhere starts telling, "Mom, I don't trust my brother, and I don't trust my sister, but I trust my twin." And I'm like, of course. Well, she doesn't have a twin, but where that came from, God knows. But somehow, trust your twin. When you have received or met your twin in your life, and you have heard what they say about you, then trust it. You have just met something incredible. Of course, it's going to break you apart. It broke me apart. I have so much compassion for people who are going through that, because it broke me into the little teeny tiny pieces that I thought is impossible. And the so-called deeper truth on twin flame journey is that the twin flame isn't the goal. Inner union is the goal. And you can now argue, your ego can pop up and say, what do you mean my twin flame is not my goal? Of course, I cannot breathe without my twin flame. What are you talking about? If my twin flame would choose me and would come back to me, I would feel the happiness, I would feel the love, I would feel this. I hate to break the bubble, but no, you will not. Your twin flame came to show you that something is out of balance. And something has to get back where you are. Maybe you are in the wrong path of your life. Maybe you are in a wrong relationship. Maybe you don't live from your authentic truth. Maybe you don't know yet who you truly are. But it's not the other person. And in the Bali retreat also, I had a conversation where I said that I've been very, very grateful and very happy that the world has had a chance to chose, oh my God, I can't talk, showed to me same things in a way that we would think that if I have this, I would feel this. No. You can have this, but you will not feel this until you feel this internally. Everything. And you know, I know many of you have heard that. You feel the happiness internally. You feel the love internally. You feel this. But this is not something from the mind. And I've always said, you cannot understand, like we cannot understand the twin flame journey until you are on this journey. I can explain that to somebody. They would look at me and be like, okay. Yeah, okay. But they would not understand until they live it, until it happens to them. Same is when we feel things internally. And when you feel things internally, it will also happen outside. So most of the human suffering is not caused by what happens. I listen to this very carefully. But by the attachment to what it should mean. I let you to a little bit digest this. Most of the human suffering is not caused by what happens, but by the attachment to what it should mean. So we start to find a logic. We start to try to make sense of it. Another day I listened to a beautiful thing, and I've listened this I think 20 times now. I tell you, when I get obsessed with something in a certain ways, I dive deep, I read deep, I go all the way in. And it was very much about that when we are able to explain something, that's why I say twin flame journey is very difficult to explain, because there are no words for it. I can put it in the words, what happens, what we feel, but at the same time, I'm still lacking. And the meaning was that if we are able to explain it, it loses its magic. It's no longer, we have filtered it. The words are powerful, but the words cannot describe in a way of something as a love, as a unification love. But I leave this for the next time. So the twin flame dynamic in the beginning turns that attachment into a spotlight. It takes every unconscious strategy inside of you that you have used to feel, let's say, safe, control, pleasing, performing, chasing after something, freezing, taking yourself back, idolizing. And all of this in this journey will become visible. And in inner work is we learn to see those strategies very clearly, not without shame, not judging, not things, but then we choose something better. And that's what I mentioned before. I have always about the twin flames, let's say the retreats or the workshops or everything I do, I want to give you the tools that makes you a superhuman. That you don't depend on something. Okay, here I'm going to say, it's nice to have these treatments. It's the same, let's say you go to the massage. I love going to my Reiki master. I love receiving Kundalini energy. Like when I get to be on this, that somebody opens it, I just love it. Or sound healing or something like this. Now we were just on the Temple of Chi and we did this light sound, LSD I want to say, but I don't know if it was LSD. It's light sound, some experience. So it was the same that we were on a floating mattress, and they started to play a similar sounds like we have done in a pie, but it was a live version. And then you have lights flickering. It was a very interesting experience. Again, very similar like a Pai Vela Razza, what we have done. But it was a 3-level, meaning of you were floating. Then you have lights. And the man said to us that we are using only here a white light. I think a little bit yellow as well. I might be wrong here. But then, when these lights are flickering and the sound, what you're going to start seeing, wow. It was so powerful. For me, it was absolutely, I cannot describe that. And again, it's the same way of opening the DMT, connecting, and we have all of these possibilities. So I said that before, that we are not here to be perfect. I am far away from perfect. I'm just a human. Believe me, I make mistakes every single day. I don't have the answers. I am just human. I'm just me. And I'm not afraid of admitting that. But I also will not get stuck in there of thinking, oh, now this happened to me. This is my identity. No, this happened. And again, like I say, I'm not perfect. And I don't want to be perfect. I used to chase that perfectionism. Oh my God, how exhausting was this thing? Oh, Jesus. It was the biggest block on my life. So what inner work actually is on Twin Flame Journey, and this is not now an Instagram or a popular version. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to do the popular one. It's not, inner work is not that thinking positively and so they will come back. That you're going to manifest some kind of text from them and you're going to set the intention and it's going to happen. Being in a high vibe all the time. This is another thing. We are humans. We have emotions. We're going to cry. We're going to feel. We're going to scream. We're going to feel it's all unfair. And then you would think, oh, but I have to be high vibe to get my twin back. No. And another, one of the most important that I've said many, many times, doing healing to earn love. Don't do any meditation. Don't do any Kundalini activation. Don't do any breath work. Don't do any Reiki, any modalities of healing. DMT, LSD, I don't know what is out LSD, I think it's not. Ayahuasca, whatever. Don't do it because you want to earn love. Do it because you are love. So what is an inner work then? The inner work is ending the war inside of you so you stop needing the external world to stop first. You need to end the war within you. Stop fighting. Let your soul speak the truth. Let yourself to be you. You are free now. Taking responsibility for your nervous system, your patterns, your shadows, your boundaries, and your devotion to truth. Nervous system is where it all begins in a certain ways. That's why when we meet our twin flame, we feel very, very strongly. And our nervous system gets all wired up, and that's where this all sleeplessness, everything starts, because of all of a sudden the soul is awakened, the nervous system is on alert. No, 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 no. This is not you. You can't feel this way. And that's why I've said that anything you can do that will heal from the nervous system. I know now the Kundalini is very powerful for that. I know deep meditations are very powerful for that. What I have, the modalities, what I have seen, such as with the Pai Vilaratsa and all of that, they are very powerful of stopping your nervous system, of repeating the same patterns. I've spoken a lot about nervous system, and no one has to believe me. I've said this about my podcast as well, and I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm not here to tell you that this is the truth. If you do this, this is going to happen. I just share what changed my life. And I've said that many times for my friends, for people around me. I said, I would do none of this if this wouldn't have changed my life. And it might not change for somebody, but it did for me. It did for me so profoundly that I wanted that everybody feels this way. Because like I said, if we stop the wars inside of us, the world will stop the wars. Maybe it's a little bit naive to think, because sometimes I'm thinking back and seeing, do we ever change as a humanity? Because if you look back on the history, but maybe now it's the time. We are stepping into a new time, Aquarian time. Maybe now we're going to change as a humanity, and we stop the war inside of us. We stop to feel the greed that I need to have more, I need to feel more. If I have more, I'm not going to go into that today. But another day I got upset. I did get upset. When the Epstein files are out there, of course, and Deepak Chopra was mentioned quite a lot there. And I know other spiritual gurus, teachers. I know Kundalini Yoga. I've got an extremely bad reputation because of women have been, say, used sexually and so on. And sometimes I'm sitting down and thinking, are we ever going to change? And then I'm asking myself, am I fighting with a demon I can never win? Because we humans actually don't change. Because somebody gets the power and then starts to abuse the power. I don't want to get into that today. But this is something I don't know to talk about this or not, because I normally try to avoid this. But Bali was also teaching us that the good and the bad exist at the same time. And we need to have a balance within it. And the good also a little bit more, but the bad is there too. It doesn't disappear. And our choices and our way of living is there. But this is something oh my God, it really makes me upset when, and these type of things, that we make a face that I'm such a good person. And that came to me as well. That was my biggest Bali reveal, that I have a tendency to believe that everybody is good, and I believe that everybody is good. Somehow I believe we all have our good side. But sometimes we also need to see the other side, just to pause and look at. Me also, same thing. It's because doing always in a certain ways can actually become painful at one point. But yeah, so anyhow. And what is the inner work also is choosing love over attachment again and again. And you choose the love until it really becomes a stable frequency, not a reaction. And that is something very powerful. Love is not something we're gonna feel like electricity all the time. Love feels stable, and love is everywhere around you. The food you eat, the people you spend time with, the train seat where you're sitting right now while listening to this podcast or running outside on the trees. Love is all there all the time. You don't have to chase, you don't have to look for it. What you need to do is take a deep inhale, stop for a moment, and notice a love around you. Just notice. It's there. It hasn't disappeared. And somehow I would say that the twin flame arrives to reveal the places where you have forgotten God within yourself. So whether you call it the God, source, self, love, or consciousness, the meaning is still the same. And the twin flame experience really exposes separation inside of you, not outside of you. I've always said inner world is like the universe. Everything is there, and it will reflect in the outer world, the one that your eyes are perceiving, the one what you feel. And many of you, I know that when we come to this journey and you hear me talking this kind of things, and you would say, what a crap she's talking about. She has no idea. And I totally agree with you. I would have felt the same way when someone like me who is talking right now, or again, I'm going to say it's not really me, it's something else that is coming through me. I would have been like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Where is the twin flame? Where I can feel love again? Where I can be this? But there was a lot of separation inside of me, within me. So, the 7 layers of inner work on a twin flame journey. So now we get into that after I don't know how many minutes. And now you can again agree or disagree here and feel like, oh my God, here we go again. It's the nervous system. So the twin flame journey in the beginning very much activates the most primal system in the body, attachment and survival. And that's why it can feel very obsessive, euphoric, terrifying, holy. You feel destabilized, everything in the same exact day. You can feel everything. You feel when they're gonna message me, then you feel so much happiness, and you feel sadness, then you're like a roller coaster. I always say this journey is a roller coaster. And I know the people who have done the course with me and we do the first activation, I say, be ready. It's going to be a roller coaster because of everything we activating with an energy you cannot fool. And again, that's why I loved Bali again. Bali. I would say these people who are just in Bali right now, their life is about to do 180 degrees into magic. The energy, what even my assistant, she said, what was that again? What was this energy? It was the biggest group I did this time, 18 souls of us. And I was a little bit worried that maybe we don't have enough time to bond, enough time to connect. No, it was so powerful. So honestly, now I see, wow, definitely want to do like a big group again because it's really amplifies. Really, it goes into a next level. So that's why I said Italy is a little bit bigger group. Cyprus in November is a little bit smaller just because we will keep that a little bit intimate. So that's totally up to you, but it was very powerful. So now, in the nervous system, where I say the foundation, it is the foundation. When I discovered this through the breath work and then the Kundalini activation, then I started to do the Kundalini yoga, all of that. And when I discovered all of this, I realized, this is where it is. This is where the magic is. So the inner work here really means that you stop letting your body interpret the connection as a life or death event. So for example, if they don't reply for you for 8 hours, your mind might go, they are with somebody else. I am abandoned. I am nothing. Why they don't talk to me? What is going on? Are they going to message me? What I'm going to say if they're going to message me? So you're trying to control all of that. And the inner work is not don't feel that. This is a very opposite thing. Inner work is notice the activation. Number one, where in your body? What happens? Do you get your heart fluttering? Do you feel panic? Do you get sweaty hands? Spinning mind? How is your impulses? What you gonna try to say? So you can somehow name it. I'm not the biggest fan of naming certain things because again we are labeling, and then we say I have this, I have that. In my perspective is you feel it. Now you stop. You let it feel in your body. You start regulating your breath. You feel it. Where is it? And then you can connect to this and say, okay, I can handle this. I'm connected to this. Let's say my worth is not their response or my worth is not this. And if you cannot regulate or you cannot see clearly, that's okay. It's just a moment right now. And if you can't see clearly, you will call your wound intuition. That's another thing. So seeing clearly is very important. But we get there. Step by step, we start working on our body. Another very big thing is a shadow work. That's a very hard one. Because often what happens on overall with humanity, everybody of us, we are humans, don't feel like this is that you are doing something wrong. But shadow is everything you don't want to admit that you are doing. So for example, controlling a love. You might be thinking, I know everything, I'm more awakened. Self-abandonment as a devotion. And you might say, I'm surrendering, but you're actually waiting, monitoring signs, interpreting every song or as a confirmation or leaving your life behind because you're waiting for them to come. And again, this is not a wrong thing. It's just, I would say, have a look on the shadow part. I have my shadows. I 100% I have my shadows. When I was on this journey first, just to say, I was extremely afraid of losing love because I had lost love in my life in a very early stage. So I was controlling love. I was controlling my husband. I was controlling others in a way of what they're allowed to do, where they're allowed to go. I didn't let let's say, I was so afraid of losing my husband that I didn't let him to drive a car for my own pain, for my own shadow. I was afraid of expressing my feelings because that would have been that I am vulnerable. I didn't want to show myself vulnerable. So for me to say to someone, hey, as a matter of fact, I really love you and I really feel, to be honest, today I don't have the problem anymore. But back then, for me to say to someone, I love you and I have feelings for you, oh my God. Because what if they're gonna say, but I don't have feelings for you? What a rejection. Or another thing, I said that as well. That was right before I was going on, I was in a retreat and I was in a room. This is why I say also that don't be afraid on Twin Flame retreats or any other retreats to share a room with someone. You might make a lifelong friend from it. This time we saw this on Twin Flame retreat in Bali. many people became best friends within themselves. Even though they didn't know a person, they shared a room and they were like, that person is my person. And I had that as well. Always, I believe that the reflection comes from if every person helps you one way or another, even if they trigger you. And I remember I was at the retreat and she was an Aquarius girl, and I always match with Aquarius very well. All my best friends are Aquarius, and so on and so on. And I sit down and I start talking to her. I say to her, yeah, I am this, I'm that, I'm coming from there. And I keep talking and I keep talking. And she's looking at me like a beautiful, calm Aquarius is always. And she looks at me and I look at her and I say, oh, wait a minute. And these were my words. I'm telling you so much about myself that you would believe the story that I'm going to tell you, because I don't want to let you see the pain within me. And she said, wow, that was very powerful. I didn't notice that. And I said, I know, because I've been doing this for years. I walk in and I tell you a story of me, because then you will not see, because I'm afraid that you will see inside of me. And there are a lot of shadows inside of me, a lot of fears. But me talking, me explaining, me being in front is all the cover-up. So that's why I say that it's real shadow work doesn't make you less spiritual. It actually makes you real. So don't be afraid of seeing that, oh my God, I'm doing these kind of things. You are your own best friend. Don't be hard on yourself. Attachment detox. So the twin flame dynamic is often will confuse your nervous system craving. So the hunger feels like urgency, obsession, making this thing with the universe that, okay, universe, if you don't do this, I will not believe this, if this and that. Very often where we can say, I can't live without them. They need to know, define, label, secure, which I have also said that explaining to them that you are twin flames, or as we are twin flames, we need to be together. I'm not going to say that it's everyone's situation, but it doesn't matter. Because if the love is real, none of the labels matter. Because love, the true love, feels steadiness, truth, respect, including the self-respect. Choice, not compulsion. So for example, the hunger inside of you can say, if we are meant to be, they will choose me. But the real love says, if it's true, it won't require me to abandon myself. And if it's meant to be for me, it will be there. I don't have to chase for it. And this is so important for everyone who is listening and you're afraid that your twin will not choose you. Believe me, if they don't choose you today, it doesn't mean that you're not worthy. Maybe something is protecting you. Maybe their frequency is not that yours. See that from the place of protection and place of growth. Inner work is learning to tolerate the emptiness that appears when the drug, twin flame is a drug, of it is removed. And then you can fill the space with self-trust, purpose, and presence. Just be here, right now, right here, and nowhere else. That is what is inner work. And I've said that so many times, and it will help you in everything. We were just on a Bali retreat as well, and a beautiful soul who is running business, and she reminded me so much. She made herself small because otherwise other people would feel that she takes the spotlight, and she got this lesson that no, she doesn't have to be small. You know, these poems that people wrote, I wish every one of you can hear them, and I hope people will also send them to me. But there was the same situation that something happened in a business, and of course we have a bit of a panic. But then I said that I had the same, but I learned that what has to go will go, and what has to stay will stay. So, the number one for the next thing, the number 4 is identity death. And this is what I talked about it before. Not that I was planning to say that, but it's not me. And I'm going to be very honest. I don't, like the twin flame whole idea is not that, look at me. No, I never done this because of that. And I don't plan. And even if you see at one point that, oh, somebody is putting their nose all the way up, then remind me that. Because the identity death, in a sense, and who are you without the story? And this is the one where we all of us, as a people, we resist it. Because also the twin flame narrative and overall can become very much of the identity. The chosen one, the awakened one, the ones who loves deeply, the one who waits faithfully, the ones who suffers. But the inner work will ask you these type of questions a little bit. Let's say, but who are you without the chase? Who are you when you're not chasing? Who are you when you're not longing? When you're not waiting for them? Who are you then? And I really invite you to think about these questions today. And who are you when nobody's watching your journey? Who are you there? And for example, if you remove your twin today from this journey, today you remove your twin from your journey entirely for 6 months. Let's say you remove them. You're not checking what they're doing. You're not stalking. You're not trying to make the story about them. Where would you put your focus on? To yourself? Would you like to love yourself again? Would you like to see how powerful and how beautiful and how magnetic you are? What are the fears you will face? What are the fears that have frozen you and you haven't moved on? And what are the things you will finally grieve? Finally you feel, oh my God, I haven't taken my time to grieve this moment in my life. And this is where the real power is, because your soul did not come here to be, now I'm going to say a very rude thing, but your soul didn't come here to be an accessory to someone else's timeline. Your soul came here to be sovereign. Yes, you can have the love. Yes, you can have the family. Yes, you can get married. Yes, you can run barefoot on the beach. Yes, you can jump high. Yes, you can scream out loud from your lungs, I love you. You can have all of that. But it's so much more beautiful when it comes from your inner world. Not that it's someone else there. And you don't have to believe me, but maybe these words at one day will reflect and you would say, oh, now I know. Boundaries as a devotion and not as a punishment. So in Twin Flames also sometimes we might say these kind of things, that if I block them, I'm not unconditional. And that is very much of a confusion. Unconditional love is not unconditional access. If the connection is keep you in an anxiety, gives you the breadcrumbs, secrecy or disrespect, or somebody is mean to you, inner work is about stepping back without drama, speaking clearly about your boundaries, protecting your energy, letting actions, not potential, don't mix up the potential, let's talk about the actions, be the evidence. I don't know like a lot of, how do I say it, like negative, toxic twin flame concepts, because my twin flame was never ever toxic towards me. But there are sometimes where I hear that people are mean. And I know that their own inner world is so messed up in that time. But I disagree with that. I always say no one has a right to bring their pain as an excuse. You don't have an excuse because of that. you have to work through that. That's why the message I said as well, that the wars we see is the inner world that has not been healed. And the boundary is not that you closing your heart. It is you are closing the door that fractures your soul, that brings down who you truly are. So another very big thing is the inner masculine and feminine integration. And the Shiva and Shakti, that's why I say why Mahashivaratri is extremely powerful and meaningful for me. Because these things have to be in balance. So the inner feminine is feeling, receptive, intuition, surrender, embodiment, creation. And the inner masculine, on the other hand, is structure, direction, boundaries, action, discernment, protection. But many of the twin flame dynamics are absolutely in imbalances, and so was I. Meaning over feminine, waiting, hoping, merging, losing self, don't know who you are. Or over masculine, controlling, trying to make sense of this journey, trying to find all the answers, suppressing feelings. So, for example, if you feel deeply as a feminine, but you don't take aligned action, the inner work is, I feel fully, then I choose clean action. And, or you act a lot, but let's say you don't feel the grief. Is you stop running and just let the ocean move through you. Just stop running. So as I said, the Shiva and Shakti unite inside of you, and you stop trying to extract union from another person. That's why Mahashivaratri, I hope you had a beautiful one, powerful one. So this will bring you a peace. And the seventh one is the non-duality in the highest layer. Non-duality doesn't mean that nothing matters, or where we are so one that abuse is fine. Real non-duality is very simple. It sees the unity of consciousness and honors at the same time human boundaries, consequences, and ethics. So the twin flame journey can be a doorway in a way of realizing, because of what is a non-duality. And I've spoken about non-duality. And as a matter of fact, I wanted to speak about this time because Bali was really teaching us the non-duality living. But I'll talk about this in another episodes again. But just to say that you cannot possess love. You cannot control life. You cannot secure permanence. And at the same time, you can be just here, right now, right here. So for example, instead of I need them to choose me so I can be okay, become today of thinking, I'm actually okay in my essence. From that wholeness, I can be and I can do. So it is very complicated. And the biggest paradox of a twin flame journey, which I came really right when I was seeing that, and it sounds crazy, but stop making a twin flame journey as a project, or stop making someone as a project or as a goal. Make yourself the altar. Not in an egoistic way, but in a devotional way. Show up for yourself. And if it's if your journey is real and you are on a twin flame journey, it will not require you to shrink, suffer, or stay stuck. And if it's not real, your inner work will still lead you to the love you were truly seeking, because that love was always pointing you back to your own wholeness. So you will never lose. And inner work is where it all begins. And I know many of you don't want to hear that, because of it feels more fun and fantasized when we say that this and that. But you are the master, and your twin will come back to your life in the inner work. But start noticing the magic. I have so much more to say, but the time is ticking, and I promised a little bit to talk about the Bali retreat. Number one, it was a very magical. We did that during the Mahashivaratri, and we had the very first day was the purification. We did very strong activations. We were chanting the Mahashivaratri, and what was very interesting, Mahashivaratri, we were chanting the Shiva's mantra. It was very interesting that when we ended the mantra at midnight, a grasshopper jumped on me. There was a very many times where the animals were very much involved with me. The butterfly came on me, stayed over there, the grasshopper. Then there were, I don't even know how to call them, but there were this type of, I don't know what kind of insects they were exactly. I don't have all the answers, but they were always around me. And it was beautiful to see how the universe or the energy is telling that, okay, it's time for the next step. It's time there. I said about it that I said 171. It's a very strong number. It just shows the timeline, but I just still don't have the answer what it's trying to tell me, but I feel it tells us the collectively. But we had just ended the retreat on Saturday, and on that day I thought, okay, we're gonna go to the Temple of Chi. And I sit in a car, and this was like a deja vu for me. I sit in a car, and the first song that the driver has was number 17, and Fuck Love by Extension or something like that. And I've spoken about this song in the early episodes of mine, so those who have recently listened to the early episodes. Because that was the song that my twin was listening when he was going through hell. And once he posted that, and he said it's on my repeat. And when you listen to the songs, the lyrics of that song, you can really say what he was going through. And he later admitted that me leaving Switzerland was, he thought he's gonna die. He said, I don't know what was going on. And I told my friends that I know I can't have ever this girl, but she changed my life by just being here. And I know I cannot have her, but all I want is her. And I'm sitting in this car, and obviously this song and number under is 17, and I just laugh. And then we are driving to the Temple of Chi, and literally the whole playlist that this guy had, the driver, was a playlist when I was going through the hell, and also my twin was going through the hell, so the music was there. And I'm just thinking on my own that what kind of like a movie is that now is showing to me how far I have come, because it didn't affect me or anything, but it showed me that this was all real. When I was at this pain and all of that, this was all real. It was very interesting, and of course it made me laugh. It was number 17. I will share that on Instagram as well for those who wants to see the lyrics or hear the lyrics or things like that. And then I met up also a very beautiful healer that was recommended for me by another soul who was on a twin flame retreat here in Cyprus. And this healer is amazing. Definitely, those of you who are going to Bali, I'm more than happy to recommend him. You will never, I never experienced something like this, because he does like a very special massage from every single inch of yours. Me, myself, I didn't scream as much because I didn't have so much pain in my body, because I already work with the Kundalini energy, so the energy was quite flowing for me. There were a couple of things around my heart where he said to me that you worry too much about other people. You need to don't take it into your heart, so many things, and you are very sensitive for everybody. So he kept on repeating to me all the time, saying, "You're too good. Don't be so good. Don't be so good. You're too good." And and I have never received as many compliments as I received with this healer. No man on earth has ever given me so many beautiful words. The first thing he obviously said that what a beautiful way to meet such a beautiful energy, that he thanked me for that, said this is incredible to meet a beautiful energy. And for me it's the highest form of compliment. Not that I want to be a beautiful energy or everything, but when somebody feels that I have something beautiful, it's so beautiful to hear that. I don't know if I have a beautiful energy or negative energy or this and that. I am just me. I'm just trying to live from my truth and from my heart. But it was beautiful to hear that. And of course, then there are millions of other things that he said. But he was such a beautiful man. And the healing is really, really powerful. I think I never had a massage like that. It's 3 hours long. Like I said, I was not so much screaming in pain, but my husband, on the other hand, screamed literally 3 hours. And that was painful for him. So, and then on the retreat itself, we did magical things over there. We did have people getting sick, and the last day, so we had to call in the doctors because the Bali belly came into people were vomiting and so on, and that is obviously a side effect of Bali, that we can get sick there. But on the other hand, it again shows to you that don't take this anymore with you. Leave that crap behind. I'm gonna help you to purify everything inside of you. And funny enough, that one person who had an IV, even on the IV bag, there was 555055. So change, shift. Can't make these things up. But they were very brave of purging through this and going through. And I've said that many times, that even when we are not in Bali, sometimes people vomit after the Kundalini activations. Sometimes they scream, sometimes all of this and that. Or they have a diarrhea or things like this, just because the system is saying, I need to liberate that block from there. Sickness is not against us. When we have pain or when we feel sick, it's not something that something is wrong with us. Actually, it's the opposite. Your body knows what to do. Fever is very good for your body in that sense, because it's killing away what's not supposed to be there. So that was very interesting to see, and that's why I said that Bali will not let you to go or hide that is inside of you. And yeah, what were other things? There were so many things, and this is a very weird thing with this retreat. I think it's the very first time for me in that sense. Because Bali did obviously something with me as well, where I feel that even though we had an amazing photographer in place, amazing videos, I have so many beautiful videos, I feel that no video, no picture, no story that I'm going to tell you here on the podcast will ever deliver what happened there. And it's like the one life moment lived that somehow will never come back, but somehow will live in our hearts forever. And it's just a weird thing that for me, that even though I tried to find the words, even though I tried to explain, and I'm so grateful and so happy, I don't really have them. And I feel how I want to sit in silence and just embody this and live with this. And I feel that the beauty of these retreats is that no matter how many beautiful pictures we have, beautiful videos, it's what happens there, right there on that moment. And none of this can be repeated again. None of this will come back again. It was your soul creating something with other souls, something so powerful and so profound that it's impossible to explain unless you were there. So yes, I will try to share some pictures and some videos, even though I always take into consideration that it's not something we all are comfortable of being online, and but there are a few beautiful moments over there that I think I will share. But like I said, I am speechless. I don't have words. But I am so grateful that you traveled to this place to create this magic. Because without you, none of this would have ever happened. So okay, I'm going to end over here. And what I want to tell you that... So, Italy retreat, end of June. If you wish to open your heart, this is the love romance all the way through many levels. If you've been missing that, I want to feel like a princess or prince and living in a movie, then definitely that is a retreat to come to and experience what it means when the dreams come true. Cyprus retreat is also announced, but that happens in November, meaning of you can start very little payments already, and we'll see. Don't let the fear to hold you back from your dreams and what is about to unfold for you in this year. And the best news is that we are going to meet this weekend online. Saturday we have Jupiter Kriya, and Sunday we will have a Women's Day Yin energy, feminine energy workshops of connecting to the feminine energy, embracing the feminine energy from the place of creation. So both of them are on Patreon. You can join Patreon anytime. And then, actually, right before I end, one of another beautiful soul who I have met here in Cyprus and everything, she offered a session for some of you to have with me. So the code for this is Iamalwayslove. You will find the code, and then there's a one session for free for you to use it. I am always love. Anyways, if you liked, if you got anything out of it, if it reminded you that inner work is not something that, doesn't matter, I'll do it today, or I will keep on looking for that, connect to that, connect whichever way. You have the magic in your hands. Remember this, you are the magic. Anyways, thank you for being here, thank you for listening, and hopefully you come back, or maybe not. Anyways, bye-bye.
Another love, show me another love. This can't be the only one out there waiting for me. Stop, control the fire, let it burn. I know you tried, baby, I know you tried, and daily I nearly die.